in a galaxy far, far away, lived the most lit gang in the world. Do you want to know what that gang was, young children? It was Shazwiyt Gang.
Shazwiyt
Hey, what is up, everybody? It's your
gang.
boy Shazwi, and welcome back to another video. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing all right. Hope you enjoyed that little attempt at trying to be creative. But as you can tell by the title of today's video, I'm going to be talking about Star Wars. Yes, I'm going to be talking about the epic film franchise that has been around for 42 years now, created by the one, the only George Lucas. Now, if you're like me and are probably still like how I was, you probably have no idea what Star Wars is about. You probably still don't really care about Star Wars, or maybe, or maybe like Okay, so I'm not a fan of Star Wars. Just a disclaimer. I wasn't always a fan of the film franchise. So if you're like me, actually, you wouldn't have been a fan most of your life until 2015 when The Force Awakens came out. That's when I hopped on the Star Wars wave, but I still didn't really get into it. There was really no interest for me beyond the movies. So because I know Star Wars has a huge bibliography. There are a bunch of works and books and stuff like that are in there, comic books. There's all that stuff, but I'm really not interested in that. What I was just interested in is the visuals and the films and, the cartoons that I used to watch on Cartoon Network, like Star Wars Clone Wars. I used to watch that every day after school, stuff like that. That's what I'm interested in. So, and I know there's the show The Mandalorian coming out on Disney Plus, which I'm really looking forward to. But other than that, not much of an interest. So yeah, I've never really been into Star Wars. I like the latest Star Wars trilogy. I love seeing Rey and Finn. That's pretty much the only reason why I've been watching these new Star Wars films. Also, Disney has been advertising the heck out of these films. Damn. I bet they've poured in hundreds of millions of dollars just into advertising alone because, woo, if it wasn't for that advertising, these movies wouldn't have made as much money as they did right now. So that's a big deal. But also, the main reason why I've also been enjoying these films, or why I decided to watch episode 7, was because there was a main black actor, because of John Boyega. I didn't know, not that I didn't know, but I had never seen a main black actor in a main Star Wars movie. I mean, I know people correct me and say, no, there was Samuel Jackson who played
Mace
like
Windu. Mace
Daku.
Windu.
I don't know
Mace
who his name
Windu.
was in the Star Wars films,
Mace
whatever.
Windu.
And then there was also Lando, who I saw in Star Wars, who I saw in a solo story, the Han Solo movie. Pretty cool. But yeah, there was never really, a black actor who got a lot of screen time as a main person. So to see John Boyega and play the role that he's been playing has been so cool. I love Finn. He's really cool. He's so relatable. I feel like that's how I would be if I was in these films. Just the regular dude on the side who's just a supporting character who has no powers, but is there for the ride and is doing basically the best that he can. But yeah. So today I'm going to be reacting to the final trailer for the new Star Wars movie that is dropping at the end of this year, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. So I've already watched this trailer, but I wanted to rewatch it because I wanted to actually talk about this trailer and give predictions about what I think the movie is going to be like. And so before we get into that, for those of y'all who basically don't know what Star Wars is about, basically the movie revolves around the Civil War taking place in the galaxy far, far away, which is something they always mention in every film. So you have the rebels, who are the good guys, and they're fighting against the nefarious Darth Vader and his imperial forces from the Galactic Empire, which is a tyrannical army intent on destroying civilizations across the universe. So you have Princess Leia, who actually happens to be Darth Vader's daughter. She is the head of the Rebels Alliance, and manages to steal Imperial blueprints and details about a deadly weapon and space station called the Death Star. When she is captured by Imperial forces, she puts the plan in the memory of a droid, R2D2, who escapes with another droid called C3PO to the planet of Tatooine. So that's how it basically starts off. So there are three trilogies, and all of these trilogies are known as the Skywalker saga because they're somehow related to Anakin Skywalker, who was the main character for a while, and so it's centered around Anakin Skywalker, either him or it's centered around his descendants in some way. So the first trilogy, which is episode 1, 2, and 3, which came out between that was between 1999. So episode 1, The Phantom Menace, came out in 1999, and then there was Attack of the Clones, which was in 2002, and then there was episodes 3, which was Revenge of the Sith, came out in 2005. So that's the first trilogy, although that was the second trilogy to be filmed, because in actual fact the second trilogy was the one that was released first. So the first movie of that, episode 4, was A New Hope, was released in 1977. Then you have in 1980 you have Empire Strikes Back, which it has always been critically acclaimed as the best Star Wars movie. I've heard from a lot of people and what I've seen online. And then there's finally Return of the Jedi, episode 6, released in 83. And then now, obviously, as you know, we have The Force Awakens, which was released 2015, The Last Jedi 2017, which had mixed reactions. A lot of people didn't like that one. A lot of people felt like that was the end of, this franchise, kind of like the reaction to Game of Thrones Season 8. And then now we have Rise of Skywalker coming out this year. So that's going to be really interesting to see. So without further ado, let's watch the trailer and basically see what my thoughts are about this. Okay, let's... In 3, 2, 1, go. Always starts out so quiet.
It's an instinct. A feeling.
It is a feeling.
Together. We're not alone.
We aren't.
Good people will fight if we lead them.
Yes. I'll just say the cinematography is always on point.
No one does. But I do.
Ooh, it's about to go down, bitches. Wow.
Have I waited?
Palpatine.
You're coming together.
Okay.
Is your undoing. What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir,
Aw, a lot of people cried over this scene.
at my friends.
So, this Christmas.
Confronting fear. Destiny of the Jedi.
Ooh.
The Force will be with you.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
Okay, so that was the trailer. Obviously, I mentioned I've watched it before. So, okay. So the first trilogy, episode 1, 2, and 3, was centered around Anakin Skywalker. And he was obviously seen as like the chosen one, the person who was gonna help the rebels fight against um the evil Sith people and the Galactic Empire, whatever they're called. So yeah, the first trilogy was centered around Anakin, and then it ends in episode 3 with Anakin becoming Darth Vader. So that's the evil version of himself. If you're a Star Wars fan or whatever, this is obvious information to you. I might get some stuff wrong, but yeah, that's basically the gist of it. And then the second trilogy, which is the first one that came out, is centered around Anakin's son, Luke Skywalker. So that's what it's all about. So it's basically trying to bring literally a new hope, as the film says, and fighting against the evil people, and it ends off well in the end. Darth Vader eventually dies, but he actually died a good person. But in order to kill Palpatine, he died in the process, and Luke, came out alive in the end, and all that stuff. And yeah, it was all good. And so then in this new trilogy, which is set 30 years after the events of episode 6, now they're basically new bad guys, and the new bad force or union, whatever, is now known as the First Order, which is headed by this ugly old alien dude called Snoke. Um, and yeah, and then it's carried over by Kylo Ren, who is actually Darth Vader's grandson. So Kylo Ren, whose actual name is Ben Solo, is Han Solo and Princess Leia's son. And Princess Leia is Anakin Skywalker slash Darth Vader's daughter. So Ben Solo slash Kylo Ren is Darth Vader's grandson. So he's, the spitting image of his, grandfather in terms of fighting style and how he dresses and all that stuff. And yeah. So this third trilogy isn't really centered around one character. The main character obviously is Rey. That's the person who, is usually like on the cover of the films, and she's the main person and whatnot. But it's centered around a lot of people. There's Rey. You could say it's sort of centered around, Kylo as well, but like he is the representative of the bad part, of the films, and she's like the good part, which is the main part. So for me, honestly, when I see these new Star Wars films, the only people I really care about are Rey, Finn, and Kylo. Those are the only people who I honestly do care about. They're the ones who are carrying these films. So yeah, so let's go into my predictions about episode 9 and what I think will happen. You know, the trailer, what I like about the trailer is that it doesn't give too much when it comes to the actual story. We still don't really know what happens. I remember when I saw, so prior to this, there was another trailer that came out, and before that, there was like a teaser. So, in like the trailer that came out before this one, I remember I saw there was a scene towards the end of the trailer where you see like an evil version, excuse me, an evil version of Rey who has like, a double, which is a super cool like double lightsaber. And I thought, wow, that looks spooky, but it looks cool at the same time. I've never seen a double lightsaber before. So I just thought to myself, like, in this film, I think what's gonna happen is that eventually when Rey, goes to the place where like Palpatine spirit is, because Palpatine is dead. I don't think he can come alive, but I'm guessing that he is going to be definitely a part of the story. I think when she goes to the place where, I'm guessing it's where the Death Star ruins are, or it's something like that. Anyway, when she finally goes to that place, I think the Palpatine or Palpatine spirit, whatever evil people are there, or even Kylo, whatever, are gonna create an evil version of Rey that she has to fight. So she basically fights herself. I highly doubt that Disney is gonna move forward with a plan to make Rey evil and then bring over Kylo to the dark side, and then Kylo has to kill Rey. Kylo to the good side, and then Kylo has to kill Rey. I don't think that's gonna be the case, knowing Disney. I predict that it's just going to be a typical happy ending where they defeat the bad guys. I think Kylo is going to die. It's either Kylo is going to come to the good side, or Kylo is going to be killed by Rey. That's what I predict. But either way, their fight scene is going to be epic. I look forward to that. I look forward to, Finn giving us the lighthearted comedic experience, but fun adventure experience. Because while Rey is doing her thing, there's a lot of pressure on her to really carry this plan forward. She's one with the Force. Although technically there is also that other kid with the Force too. If you saw at the end of like the last year that there was that kid who like used the Force on like his broomstick. So like who knows, maybe those kids will be in this movie. I don't know. But yeah, basically it's a lot of pressure on Rey. The majority of the pressure is on her. But obviously it's gonna have a happy ending. It's the end of the Skywalker saga, so basically the end of films that are related to the Skywalkers, which is what all the main Star Wars films have been about. So there have been the anthology films. So there's Rogue One, which was talking about the events between I think it was talking about the events between episode 3 and 4 or episode 6 and 7. No, I think it was, yeah, talking about the events that happened between episode 3 and 4, about getting those plans of the Death Star and all that stuff. I think that's what it was about. And then you have Solo, a Star Wars story, which I enjoyed. It was really cool. I didn't really like Rogue One. It was the most confusing movie I've ever watched. Didn't get that, didn't feel it. I hated how they all died at the end. Didn't like that movie. But oh well, I know others did. Then there was Solo. I like Solo. It was funny. It was fun to watch. Seeing how, Solo met, what's his partner's name again? Jabba, Han Solo partner. Funny, this Wi-Fi could stupid download. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. It's not saying here, but I know his name. Basically, the big furry guy. I keep forgetting his name, but whatever. But yeah, enjoyable films. Anyway, so that's basically my prediction for this film, and obviously, overall, I predict it's going to be a really fun film to watch with great cinematography. Disney has a lot of money to spare to make things visually inviting and just aesthetically pleasing to like look at and see. So yeah, I definitely look forward to watching this film. I think it's going to be great. Don't look forward to the ticket price because back home in Zimbabwe, inflation is crazy and prices are super insane. So hopefully I'll be able to afford a ticket to go watch. But I will. No, we have to go watch that film. I'm so gonna go watch it. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I always love, talking to you guys and sharing my thoughts and opinions about things, even if they're thoughts and opinions about things that I literally don't know about. Duh! Okay. But seriously, thank you guys for joining me yet again. And I will see you guys on Friday. And love you guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And with that being said, Shazwiyt gang, I am clear.